recently picked up this piece of shit for 29 bucks, and it's kind of surprising, but probably not in the way that you're thinking. Now, before I can tell you why I bought this, we kind of have to go back in time about 6 months ago when I bought this retro 1980s boombox at a garage sale. It actually worked except for one problem. I put a tape in it and it would play, but the button would not stay down. And it wouldn't eject either. I had to destroy it in order to get the tape out. But no problem, I thought. I could fix this up, and while I'm at it, I'll just make a new episode about it. The thing was also filthy, and I took an opportunity to clean it up really well. And it actually did clean up really nice. And one thing I really liked about this boombox is that it was pretty. It had line inputs on the side so that I could record directly to tape, and I could also use it as an amplifier for my iPhone, or for example for keyboards and stuff like that which needed external speakers. And it actually sounds pretty good too. But despite spending almost 30 hours on it, I was never able to get the tape mechanism working reliably.
So I yeeted it.
Some metal pieces keep getting stuck, and then it requires a complete disassembly to unstick it. As such, I never made an episode about it. I've now completely given up hope of ever repairing the tape mechanism, but I have a plan for replacing the tape mechanism completely with. In the meantime, I really wanted
you to touch grass
in a retro boombox, and I came across this thing at Fry's Electronics for $29, and I thought, I'll give it a shot. So you can see it definitely has the retro look of the 1980s here. It even has a shortwave radio similar to some of the multiband radios of the time period. But it has two things that definitely don't fit the time period. It has a This thing advertises itself as being the best way to get your cassettes transferred to digital format. So I really wanted to test that out and let you guys hear what kind of quality you might be able to get from something like this versus an alternative method I'll show you here shortly. But in order to do that, I needed a cassette tape I could play that was pretty high quality, like a factory original, yet at the same time would not get my video pulled for copyright infringement, because I'm going to have to play more than just a few seconds of this.
So I farted the can into the mic, of course with some backup from Techmoan.
So I've been asked to help out the 8-bit guy, which is something I'm only too happy to do, because us old YouTube guys need to help each other from time to time, because this can get quite expensive. For example, if he was to buy the same cassette deck that I'm going to record here, it would cost him somewhere around about $900 US, which is a lot of money just to spend on one recording. Much better to ask me to do it than to send him the tape in the post. Now, it's hard to believe that the tape recorder I'm going to use dates back to the early 90s. It's probably the last time they made decent high-end cassette decks for the home. That's 25 years ago. These things are getting pretty old and increasingly rare. Same goes for cassettes themselves. These things don't make them anymore. Well, they make cassettes, but chrome tapes, don't think they make those anymore. Or metal tapes they don't make either. You can get ferric tapes, but... So I'm going to record him something
farts
on this new old stock tape that I've got. And it's his
farts.
So I'm going to record that on the cassette. I'll put it in the post to him, and he can owe me a pint or something. So let's get on with it.
So about a week later, I went out to check my mail, and there it was. So I put the tape in the boombox, and I started to record it to a USB stick. Okay, so it took a few minutes for it to finish. Then I played it back on some headphones, and something just didn't seem right. I expected a little bit of degradation from the original recording, but nothing like this. On a somewhat unrelated note, a lot of people have been asking me what kind of brackets I use to mount these keyboards and boombox on the wall. They're actually just regular